So hello everyone, it's Zoras streaming for the first official time Terra Mystica for Season 0 of Board Game Arena Final. Hope you're well. I'm very excited about doing this with you today. So I just had a little poll here for you while you were waiting. I'm also trying to test some features and see how it works. So if some of you have any thoughts about what you will do on the setup, you may share it with me. Actually, so that's my Fire and Ice game on Snellman. If you're used to the Board Game Arena setup and never use Snellman, you might find that this looks really weird. But believe me, I think it's actually, once you get used to the Snellman images aesthetic, minimal aesthetic, I actually prefer to play on it than on the fancy board of Board Game Arena. I think that in the end, Terra Mystica is a concept a bit like chess, and what you want is the clearer representation of these concepts in order to play. Like, you will not play a 3D board game on chess on the net. You want a 2D simple representation, and that's what you get on Snellman, and I think that's fantastic. But yeah, so still, BJ is good. And we'll see how it goes today. But that's not what we will be doing today. I thought that we will discuss this if we wait too long in the queue in the arena. It will be something that we can think about. But right now what I'll go is go to the BGA website and start being in the queue for the arena. Alright, so here I should be able to put my website on. Alright, and let's go. So let's see if we can find opponents. So yeah, I've actually written to some people in view of today's stream, hopefully inviting them to join if they want. Let me show you the standing right now. So if you look here, that's today's standing. And I invited top players, so JDI, I wrote to JDI, Babuk, Danny, and at the time, actually got down a little bit. There was Jolie who was really at the top Sunday, so I invited him to come play, and of course he's still welcome. What I really hope is to have good opponents to have an interesting game today. So yeah, when I decided to stream for Arena, the standing were a lot closer. I was at 1807. So for those of you who are not familiar with BGA season, for those who, yeah, sorry, I'm reading the chat. Yeah, so for those of you who are not familiar with how the BGA tournament work, it's an ELO-based tournament, so the more game you win, the higher you get your rating. And combined with that, there's a division system. So if you win enough game, then you can climb up different leagues. So you start in the Bronze League, and then you can get to Silver League, and then to Elite League in the case of Terra Mystica. So all people you see here, this purple hex here means that they are in the Elite League. And once you're in the Elite League, the more game you win, the better your rating becomes. And the one at the end of the season will have the higher rating, will end up winning the tournament. And so that's in less than 24 hours now, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to do the stream today. Yeah, so what happened, I was seeing that the standing was very tight several days ago. I was at 18-7, and GDI, who's second now, was 18-7 too, and there were some people relatively close to. Babuk was very close. But we played a game on Sunday in which I ended up winning, and JDI finished fourth. He was a bit unlucky. I think he tried something new. He tried an E-start for Alchemist, and it didn't work. So since it didn't work, the main problem he got is that he didn't have any leech in the first 2 rounds. Terra Mystica, it's a snowball economic game. If you don't have any leech in the first round, it's very, very bad. I was NG, and I was kind of careful not to give him any leech at the beginning, which I think put him in a very bad place. So there was that, and then Babuk and Jolie played a game in which they both finished fourth. So they also dropped really in the standing. And there was also Phileas Fogg, who was high all season long before the end, but he played a couple of games and had bad result and ended up dropping a lot on the standing. So here we stand now and have a big lead until tomorrow. Usually, if you finish fourth, you may lose about 20 points on the standing. When you win, usually you win a bit less. I would say about around 10-15 points for a win. So it seems that I have a good advantage here. But don't be fooled. I mean, this standing as it stands right now, I don't think it represents at all the force and presence. I mean, I think I've played well during the season. I deserve to be in the top, somewhere around it in the top. But with that kind of point of difference, it's really not representative of people's rank. I think it should be a lot closer. You may notice Jim Boyd. If you're a fan of the website on Snellman, if you're playing on Snellman, you may know Jim Boyd. He won the tournament on Snell, the big tournament on Snell last season. He's 9th right now on BGA, but again, I will be careful with this because he hasn't played much in the arena. He probably deserves to be higher. But it gives you a bit an idea of what kind of competition there is. You might notice also Halig who's here. Halig is Lizzie on the Snellman site. So I'm making some parallel here, hoping to bridge the difference between the two sites. I think the TM community will gain to play on both sides. I'm playing on both sides. I encourage you to. Yeah, so that's it for standing. Of course, playing in that situation with this kind of lead, it's a bit playing with target on my back. So I don't know how it will go. So yeah, are you hearing other BGA tab? I see. Alright, let me see how I can... I didn't thought there was any sound. I'm sorry. Let's see. I probably can close this one. Is it any better now? I probably actually can just mute all audio from all other audio from so yeah, I see that some of you are here on so you were discussing let me show you that again, just a second, the setup that I showed. So this one, oops, wait a second. Alright, that doesn't work. Well, okay, I'm not sure. It should not have happened. I don't know why this exactly happened. Anyway, so what I'll do, I'll show you what I picked. I went with what Danny suggested. I went with Dragon Lords. I think it was an interesting decision. So I want. I've picked it already because I was afraid people. It's an ongoing game. It's my Fire and Ice ladder game, so I didn't want people to accuse me of taking advice to play this game. I don't know how you feel about this. I know personally, I really don't mind if my opponents ask ask advice to other people, but I know some people are not comfortable with this. But yeah, in this setup, I think Dragon Lord will be interesting. I think it's good setup to either a Dwelling Rush or at least a Temple and a bunch of Dwelling, which the Dragon Lords can do, and which will be the plan. Now, I felt it was very interesting setup and spent a lot of time considering it because you'll have the Cultists, the Darklings, and the River Walkers in green. So if you're not familiar with the expansion, the River Walker, they can build. They start with one shipping and they cannot never upgrade, and they can build on hex that they unlock with priest. So every time they gain priest, they can, instead of gaining a priest, unlock a terrain, and then they can build on this terrain as if it was their home terrain without any terraforming needed. Very strong. So on this map, it appears to me that the River Walkers will probably start F4, and the Cultists will start E6. And then the question becomes, what color do you want as Dragon Lord? I picked red, which I think is the safe choice. I really wanted to pick green, to pick gray because it's more leech. But it looked dangerous because if you take gray, probably your second dwelling goes on H6, and then what you really risk is that on their first move, since we are fourth, probably the River Walker might unlock green, might unlock yellow because they are only way to connect, and so the River Walker might take E8 while the Cultist takes G4, and then we cannot connect anymore. So I went with red, which I think is a bit a safer choice and probably will more exploit the West Island. So I see that maybe there's not many people around. I had set my parameter very strict. I'll lose them up a bit, hoping that we can get a faster match here. Yeah, so you guys are in the queue, right? Are you? So we'll lower a little bit our requirement, and we'll see if we can find a game here. Yeah, it's too bad you could not catch it, CS. I thought you knew. Honestly, when I announced the stream, I didn't know they will get the Fire and Ice map out. I think playing on Fire and Ice would have been nice. I think it was a bit of a weird timing to get the Fire and Ice map just when the season is finishing. But maybe the reason is that they want to put it in next season, which will be interesting. Right, so you're there, Danny? Yeah. So, yeah, schoolwork. I see the schoolwork you're doing. All right. So Bebek here is saying that he's queuing, but somehow we don't get match. Weird thing is that I don't even see Bebek as in the queue. My setting. Here are my settings. Right now. So yeah. All right, let's hope we won't wait for too long. All right, here is Bebek. So we're just waiting for one more now. Hopefully it won't be too long. So yeah, I think it's the first season on BGA. They call it Season 0, it's beta. Still far from perfect. There's this matchmaking system, which is interesting because then you don't choose your opponent and you don't get to cherry pick as others used to do. Play just with weaker players to boost your rating. You have to be ready to play with everyone. But their algorithm obviously is not perfect. Sometimes weird things happen. I think here we are 4 players somehow waiting for a game, as far as I understand, but somehow we don't get match. So you guys maybe check your requirement, make sure that you'll have something similar to me with opponent's reputation and what you're ready to play with. It's possible, I suspect that in their algorithm they might, sometimes if there is more than one paying, more than one premium member, they might split it to try to start more table, because you need at least one premium on every table. So maybe that's what's going on, which I think will be terrible. If they are making us waiting because we pay. That's not good. It's not good. Yeah, so right now, as far as I can see, a match with 3 players. And it's FireX I'm not matched with. Alright, so here we have a game. And FireX is not in it. So it's CCS. Very good player. So we're lucky we'll have an interesting table. Right. So I would say that I always find discovering a setup, uncovering a setup in Terra Mystica very exciting. It seems that it's always different. Always like opening a box of opportunity to pick from. And you start kind of imagining how you can put the setup together in order to make as many points as you can. So yeah, sorry if I rexed. I have no idea why you weren't there. One thing that you may want to know about PG, if you're not familiar with the site, is that it's auction based. So the faction that we will choose won't be necessarily the faction that we play. We just decide to pick a faction that will be in the 4 faction that people can bet on. So here, question is what we go for. First player, which is CCS 104 Witches, which I think is a very viable choice. There's 2 air cold bonus in the first 2 rounds, which means that witches are very good, which is good for witches. So that's probably why he took it. Also, like for the stronghold, it might be a good and interesting plan to get the witches stronghold with the stronghold bonus and no shipping bonus, so you can use the stronghold in order to get around the map. Alright, so I'll pick a faction and then I'll explain a bit more what was the idea behind. Alright, so we'll have the chance to talk a bit more about what you look for when you pick a faction in the setup and how I do this decision. It's something that might be interesting to discuss. I don't want to make the other wait too long though, so I'll try to pick and then I can explain more. So there's always 3 factors to factor into account in your choice. The track and the bonuses, obviously, but the most important factor will be always faction against which you are. Like here, maybe you will consider NG, but with witches in the game, they're a lot less interesting because they're color neighbor and they don't match well. So it will make a game much more difficult for both of these factions. In this kind of setup, I think I like Nomads. So I'll pick them and explain why at the moment. Alright, so yeah, we didn't get Firexed as a player, but you'll be there, so you'll be there as a spec. So, alright, Nomads. Why picking Nomads here? Nomads, I think, is a faction that builds big building in the middle of the game. So we have here the stronghold essay bonus that we can use, and we have 2 events of big structure, so the stronghold and the sanctuary, one in round 2 and one in round 4, which is right when Nomad wants to build these things. So clearly that's something that we will look for if we end up playing Nomad, but that's one of the reasons I think Nomad are good here. Someone suggested a 3 TP start, Heartaker. I actually really like the 3 TP start. I especially like it with the temple event in round 2 though. Here it's the stronghold event. Maybe possible, but less strong. So the problem here is that you need 4 worker in order to build your stronghold on round 2. If you build 2 TP, you'll have only 2 worker income, so you need probably this bonus. It's a bit harder, but I'm not close to it. Might try it. Alright, so Darklings, like the standard choice, Darkling are never bad. Almost never bad. And you have the Stronghold SE event. Probably the reason why Darkling is so strong. And I say the reason. If it wasn't for their Sanctuary, which is really, really strong, it's not clear that Darkling will be such a powerful faction, but their Sanctuary is insane. It gives you 2 priests, and you need those 2 priests in order to dig many hexes. So you want to build that Sanctuary early, and having a Sanctuary event on round 2 is really good for them. Chaos Magician is an interesting choice. It was picked by Danny. It doesn't match very well with Nomads. The thing is, I think that's maybe not a very good defeater of Terra Mystica. They should not have put the faction which starts with 3 dwelling next to the faction which start 1 dwelling on the color wheel. It makes Chaos Magician hard to play when you're facing Nomad. Very hard to play because Nomad will cut very fast your expansion. Yeah. So, which is obviously are a very good choice. They have, so as I said, when you look for a setup and when you try to decide which faction is the strongest, here we have our 4 faction. One of the questions you want to look is what are the other faction and how they match color wise. Here you have black, green, yellow, and red. Probably means that yellow and red will have a bit of a harder game because they have a neighbor color while green and black don't. So it's kind of more natural to bid on black and green first and then on yellow and red. I expect here witches and darklings probably are going to be bid down a lot. Nomads still, because of their 3 dwelling start, they can withstand very well the competition of Chaos Magician. But here I expect it will be a while before Chaos Magician will be picked. So I can show you a little tool that I use. Maybe you already know about it. It's snellman.net. You have the address here. I will sometimes use it just to have like more precise idea of how the faction fare against one another. So you can click all the faction and you'll get the score here. The score represents how well they have done in the Snellman tournament. As you see in the setup, as predicted, Darklings and Witches are a lot stronger than Chaos Magician and Nomads, but surprisingly, Chaos Magician are just above Nomads in average. And if we take down the lower division, just to get the best, we see that this difference is even improved. So, I'll continue bidding on witches. You know, it's just extra information. It's interesting. Probably the reason why Chaos Magician actually do not so bad here is that they're the only cult-oriented faction. Darklings can be, but Chaos Magician are a bit stronger on that account. So usually what I'll do in order to decide which faction I pick in auction is first to rank them, what we've done. So we said witches first, then darklings, then the chaos magician, and then nomad. Then nomad. I still prefer nomad. I'll take nomad before chaos magician. But now the question is, at what point do we go for nomad, and at what point do we go for chaos magician? I'll say I personally will rather play witches, part of it. I think it's more interesting faction to play, more entertaining at least. So for the purpose of the stream, I prefer to play them. But I think people often underestimate how complex darklings are. I mean, the baseline are simple, but to master them well, I mean, it's often the faction that I see that people play less well. So to master them, it's not that easy. So here I will say 4-point difference between witches and darklings for me. And between darklings and nomads, maybe a 12 points difference. And between nomads and chaos magician, small difference, maybe 4. I'm not a big fan of chaos magician, so I'll put a bigger margin. So right now, all right, let's go one more on witches. So if we have some time to discuss a bit about the track, here the question will be what our plan will be. Of course, it depends on which faction we end up getting. It's definitely time to go nomad here. All right. Oh, nomad. Okay, so question here is our plan is what will be our plan with the third dwelling? One dwelling goes there for sure, but then I mean, I'm very curious to see where darklings and or chaos magician will start. If darkling starts centered, it might cause us problem. Although we play before him, because if darkling starts centered, the key hex is the brown hex in the middle, this one. And that hex is so important, I would say that it's definitely worth not taking Fav the dwelling favor. So if darkling starts center, it will be kind of a rush for the brown hex. Otherwise, darkling might start here in order to complete this, to complete a town here. So if he does, then we kind of get in competition for the brown hex, and that can make nomad game difficult too. So at least he has one on the east island. Yeah, and he goes center. Honestly, I think it's better for us that he goes center than if he had went northwest. I think we have better opportunity to block him here than to block him on the brown hex. All right, so interesting. Witches went with both his dwelling on the center island. Uh, which will make Chaos Magician option very small, I think. Probably you'll have to start either here or here. And in both cases, I against Chaos Magician with yellow, I usually like to block this hex because it's really a key hex for Chaos Magician expansion, and will probably give us a bunch of leech from witches. So we'll do it like this. Now, where does he go? That's not an easy choice. You can see why I was reluctant to take Chaos Magician. He basically has 3 hex in which he will be next to someone. This one, and this one. This one can be really tough. He has not easy expansion since I'm just next to him. This one means probably a game in which he will be confined to this sector. And this one, because of this dwelling, is kind of blocked too, and he cannot go north either because of the witch dwelling. So, tough start for Chaos. Yeah, usual start for witches. Not necessarily against Chaos Magician, because if witches intend to block the gray square, the gray hex early, Chaos Magician might be tempted to go north. But with this dwelling, starting with the dwelling here, he's blocked. So that's probably the strategy here. So I go center. What I suppose is his plan is to get a ton of leech and use this leech to improve shipping and invade the north. So let's talk about our plan here. I'll pick this bonus and see. All right. So obviously, the reason I pick the TP bonus is because I'll go for the TP opening, I think. So probably I will not have the dwelling favor anyway, because I choose to dig this hex first. So why not going for the TP opening? It was suggested on the chat, and it will be a bit different. So. Yeah, and we see that now this Darkling hex doesn't seem to be like so in such a good position. We'll probably if he could, we'll prefer to move it here. So, here's what I think that we should do. Probably we won't be able to exploit the second round as a SH event. We might, but it's not clear that it will be there for us. And anyway, there is one in round 4. And there's another one in round 4, so we can wait then to build both. We'll try to build a very strong economy and build both big buildings in round 4. That will be more or less the strategy here. So one thing I like about our position here is that we'll probably get a ton of leech. I mean, look at that. We're literally at the center of the map. And early leech is the most important thing. Question is how we'll use all this power. Hopefully we can get a source of worker. We'll need one. Maybe not this round, but at least the next. So Darkling, interesting. Darkling went with the coin here. Why? What is he planning? Well, yeah, so just a little publicity. All right. Yeah, so Halig was saying on the chat of the website that this point of leech changed everything because it helped me to take the Brown X, which is true. However, there was clearly a lot of possibility that I get it. Because I mean, the only way he could have denied it, either, I mean, you take this hex and then I leech from here, or you upgrade here. If you take this hex, though, probably the spade is not available for me to take this hex, so maybe then if he decides to dig the gray first, Darkling gets his way. So yeah, FireX was saying that maybe South was the better option for Chaos Magician here, and right now we can see that it doesn't look easy. Alright. Who knows? So we're continuing with this plan of building a bunch of TP in round, which was suggested by the chat, and I thought it was a fun idea. I had success with that, actually. I know that it doesn't have the best reputation, but at least here it is something different, and the reason why I think it's interesting here is that I get a ton of leech. So many leech that let's let's not get too enthusiastic here. But if Darkling were to dig the blue hex, it will be possible to take the worker and build a 4th TP. However, unfortunately, Darkling's seems to have other plans. He went all shipping, so that was the reason why. That was the reason why he decided to go for the coins. So Darklings will go for a very fast expansion north without a temple. Now, is that any good? We'll see. I'm kind of wondering. So I took the workers. We'll see if the first one that he builds is next to it. Maybe we can go for 4 TPs. Will be a first for me, starting with 4 TP. I'm almost tempted to do it anyway. Maybe taking the worker was the mistake. Maybe I should have passed. It was like, how often do you have an opportunity to build 4 TP in round 1? I mean, technically I still have this opportunity. I mean, this last trading post will be expensive. It will cost 6 coin, but it gives 4. I mean, normal TP gives 2, so spending 2 extra coins for it might not be terrible. The problem we'll have though is that we won't have any workers if we do that on next round. So I'm guessing if I don't pass now, Chaos Magician pass and take the Stronghold bonus, which is the bonus that I won. So no matter how tempting it is to go for this 4 TP, I think the move here is to pass. And go for the Stronghold bonus. I mean, it breaks my heart. It will be kind of an achievement to build 4 TP on round 1. But, yeah. You have to be realistic about these things. Alright. So we're doing a bunch of money. And we have 6 workers. So, you have options here. I mean, Stronghold is an option, definitely. But we may consider Sanctuary too. Actually, I think I like that plan a lot. And after all, the Dwelling Favor is still there. Oh, that's mean. Yeah, he had nothing else to do with the spade. That's not good. That's not good for us. Does that change anything? Yeah, I know. And nowhere else. So witches probably don't really need that hex. Probably don't really want that hex. But what else can he do? I mean, he had a spade and he had nowhere to put it. So might as well take this hex. Which is one of workers. I wonder what it means again. Right. So I definitely like to go temple here. We'll need a sanctuary at some point anyway. And we can take the dwelling, the Earth 1. 3 towns? Don't. Well, yeah, probably it's more a 2 towns game, yeah. I mean, with Chaos Magician and Witches taking that Hex, it's looking more like a 2 towns game. Right. So we continue to get a ton of fleets from our initial positioning, and I mean that's kind of crucial. So I wonder if Witches went for the workers because he plans to do the stronghold. If he does a stronghold here, he'll town up straight away, which might be good. Or he wants to go Sanctuary and build 2 dwellings. So he just advanced shipping, so I guess that's the plan. Alright. What do we do here? I think I'm tempted to go with the money. Money is always good. And then maybe we can build a stronghold and take the Grey Hex back. Could be an idea. Yeah, I like the plan. The stronghold, though, the only problem with that plan is where do you build the stronghold? Do you build it here or here? If you build it here, it's just wasted. I mean, it won't be in any town. If you build it here, then you probably build your Sanctuary in round 4, which means that you'll town up here. And if you town up, you miss the bonus, the 5-point bonus in round 5. So yeah, things to consider. Okay. So interestingly, it seems that Chaos chose to not go Sanctuary here. He probably was worried that he will be completely trapped in the middle. So he decided to advance shipping and probably will invade this hex as soon as he can. He's probably passing for this reason. The good thing is that it didn't give Witches any power, which put Witches here in the position of like, how much does he want this hex? If he really wants it, he has to pay 3 worker for it. Is it worth it for him? Yeah, it's hard to say. Depends how much he wants to damage my game, I guess. It's probably what he's thinking about. Alright, he decided to have a good economy, even if it means conceding this hex. That's a good decision for me, at least. I don't think it's bad for him. I mean, those worker will come handy for sure. Right, so we take this hex right away. Make sure that it doesn't disappear. And I think we're having a good game. We have a lot of points. We'll be point leader when we pass, because the stronghold. And I think we have a decent economy. Making 3 workers, 2 coins, 3 power. We have a way to make points. We have the dwelling Earth 1 favor. Yeah, it's good. Alright, so I suppose we'll go for water 1 with that one. That's a big lead, 5 points, right? But early on you should always leech everything you can. We won't be point leader anymore. That's fine. It's better to have the boost from the economy. Alright, what do we go for here? I think I like the idea of carrying on with the scoring as much as we can. As Attacker pointed out in the chat, it's probably done for us for the 3 towns. Well, never know. Might still do it, but we cannot count on it. So we need to find ways to score. And next round is trading post point. Probably a good opportunity to build another one and make 4 points out of the 2 we'll have standing. So. Alright, so where do we stand? Larkin got an interesting game. I mean, his advanced shipping early on, he allows him to have an interesting income here. He has 6 worker, 8 coin. It's very strong economy. He managed to get a dwelling favor 4 points. And I think it's looking good for him. Alright. So I think we want to put first the priest in fire, because that will give us 2 worker next round. Start also some call play. How do we play this? Can wonder if we'll have any liege now. I would have really liked to have the single speed here, so I can use this hexed and then the stronghold to build 2 dwellings, and then we have enough workers to build another trading post. But things are working differently again, because now only the double spade is available, and we don't really have a good spot to use it. So what do we do? Interesting. One option. Alright, let's go for this. Part of me hates doing that, but I think we have to. We'll get here. And the plan will be to build 2 more trading posts. That will be the theme of this game. Nomad building a bunch of trading posts. Alright. I mean, getting trading posts on the board here is interesting, especially in view of the fact that we have the cult income coming of workers on the fire track. And that's what we're playing for here. Yeah, is Chaos gonna get a town? Well, he might. It might be a while. I mean, he had a really tough spot to start in. Oh. Right, let's get the workers. So, we'll just finally get to town anyway. Yeah, you think so? So, someone in the chat is suggesting that the Chaos Magician should have gone for this spot with their first move. Maybe they should have, but even then, I mean, it's still a hard position. The big advantage of doing that is that they will be able to town up with these 3 structures here. So yeah, now that Darkling has blocked them here, this is dead for a town. So yeah, maybe they should have. Right. So we're continuing our TP frenzy. Hoping that we still can build a sanctuary next turn. Maybe we go for Air 1 them, so we can score with these TPs. Yeah. It's kind of the bonus we wished for, because we need the workers, obviously. On the other end, would have been kind of worried if Darkling went for the priest. I mean, we'll have to see what Darkling plans here, but if he decides to take the green hex, can be very bad for us. We already are struggling to get a town going. I don't see it as being very good for him, but he might do it just to harm us. So what do we go for here? Kind of tempted to go for the money. We'll be rich. That's 13 coins coming. We'll be rich. We just have a way to find a way to get 2 workers, probably with the worker action, and then we can build an SA and an order dwelling. And I think be in okay position. Yeah, I know. It's a strange nomad game. I've never played really anything that looked like that. Recently I was writing on the board game arena forum that was a very bad idea to have more than 1 TP standing if you in the board game geek forum, sorry, if you don't have a good worker income, which is looking like, because TP are not the best way to improve your economy. Now it's a bit less true with Nomad because their 3rd TP and even more their 4th, and we never had really this standing. Their 3rd TP is a bit better. It gives you 3 coins instead of 2. But yeah. Here, yeah, so TP are not a very good way to grow an economy. It's the building action that you can do upgrading to a TP, which is the less efficient. So let me just try to stop the pool. I think it has been or still running. Just a second. I close it. Alright. Yeah, so TP are usually the less efficient building action that you can do, apart from Stronghold in some faction. So it's not usually a very good way to grow an economy. There are very efficient ways to score. If you want to score, you build TPs. But in order to grow an economy, it's better usually to avoid them. Alright. But here, with the Fire Cult and Com, I hope we'll be alright. has been a good way to score early, at least. Of course, well, we'll see. Maybe it's a different strategy, but it might end up costing us a town, and the scoring we've done through all those TP will probably not be enough to match a town on a round town. So it's not clear it was worth it, but at least it was a different strategy. It was interesting. It's interesting. Oh, really? Would not have thought that. So that's a late Sanctuary from Darklings. The later we are in the game, the less good the Sanctuary is, and especially here, I mean, not much leeching coming here. And the town is hard. May still hope to do a town. We'll see. Now, do we leech that? I suppose we do. It's a big leech, it's not clear, but I usually prefer to make the mistake of not leeching enough than leeching too much. It's very, very frustrating when there's something you want to do and you cannot do it because you haven't leeched enough. So, we'll see. I mean, it's 3 points. And I'm sure we can score at least a little bit with that, so probably less than 3 points. So I think it's worth it. Well, that's bottom line. Alright, everyone took water one. With 3 TP standing, maybe we didn't want it anyway. So no rush here to take something else. I think we'll just use our ability to... Yeah. I could try to make sure Darklings is not building a town in the center, but then I will be open to retaliation if he takes the forest here. I think it's better to let him do the expensive town if he can, and make sure that we do a town of our own. Alright, so we have basically... I hadn't noticed, but I was sure Priest was already sent into air, but it's just Witches went up with favor. So we have here the opportunity to go up in air for 3, which is kind of tempting. I think we have to go. Especially since we're going to build a sanctuary now and take air 1, so it gives us some position on the air cult. We have a very uncharacteristic nomad position. It was already a bit pointed in the chat. We are very bulky. I mean, we really build up here. As a result, building a network is harder, a lot harder. the advantage we have is probably Chaos Magician won't have much of a network, and Darklings, I mean, you'll have a very hard time to connect. I don't think you can. So hopefully we can still manage to score network point here. So I build a sanctuary here. I think I'll be fine. But there was an argument to pass here, that you could be made to pass, because you want workers, that's what we need. And also, we want the points from this. We really want them. And even if we don't get the 5 points for the round event, it will be more points to pass for this bonus and build a sanctuary next turn than doing it the way we did. But here it was likely that Chaos and Witches had another move. I was expecting Witches to go for the stronghold here, and Chaos, I think, will want to use a spade. So we didn't get burned. We can go for this SH bonus, which will be 8 points for us. Quite a lot. Yeah, Witches went heavy on cult. So what do we do next turn? We'll need to build a dwelling, need to build a temple and a TP at the very least. Then, if we have, we should have some things left. We want to advance shipping and start building some dwellings, even if there's a dwelling event on the last round. So yeah, that's the advantage of the kind of more bulky approach that we had. We'll probably have one way or another a bunch of dwellings to build in the last round and make the most out of this event. So yeah, we should be able to get 8 points from the bonus, 2 towns, and 2 towns on the town round. So should be a very good turn for us. Advanced shipping and probably start building some dwelling. So if we say 1 dwelling, 1 TP and 1 temple, we need a total of 10 coins and 5 workers. We have more than enough. Right. What I'm wondering here is the dream of 3 towns over, or do we still think we can go for it? Because if we want to go for 4 town, we can take the double spade to get the gray hex, and then we have enough stronghold action to build a 3rd town. Yeah, I think I like this plan. Yeah. It's good for Darklings. It still has a stun spot here. I mean, I could not use a double spade on the blue hex, obviously. But yeah. I kind of like the idea of being a bit more aggressive here. Yeah, so Northwind got a bit nervous. Still had my Nomad action. Could have dig this hole. Probably I will not have, but could totally understand the nervousness. So clearly here we go for Fire 2. Alright, so what town do we pick here? I would like some coins. And then I think we go for some cult opportunity. The priest. Yeah, we have a strong game here. So Danny was saying, don't you have better things to do with your Nomad action? I think he was afraid that I take the blue hex. Probably still hoping for a town here. That's what it has to mean. Honestly, I didn't even consider it. As I said, he's totally right. I have better things to do with that action. I'll try to do for a third down in the third round, in the last round. I see JDI among the spectators here. I hope I don't know if he's listening to the chat, but he's definitely a very good player. He hasn't played as much as me on the tournament. Will not be surprised if he played more. He will be the one who will win this one. He's a bit irregular, but when he is on top of his game, I think there's no better player really. Has such an incredibly dynamic style. His best faction are Nomads and Witches. And I remember once it's CS who told me, you have to look at his Witches game, it's amazing how he played him. And I went, and it's true. I mean, if you're at the point in Terra Mystica where you're trying to pass your anxiety of going past the favor Earth 1, the one which gives points every time you build bonus, and to play a more economic game, I would say go watch GDI's game, especially Nomads and Witches. He plays such a dynamic style that he always somehow succeeds to have something interesting out of these games. So yeah, it's a very good player, and I certainly recommend watching his game. Alright, where do we stand now? So both Darkling and me took 2 fire. I wonder if Witches wants it. Probably CM will just build a town, so I don't expect him to win it. But Witches. I mean, it all depends on what Danny want to do with the Darklings here. As for us, the plan is to advance shipping, build 2 dwellings, maybe 1 TP, we'll see. Maybe 1 trading post, and hope we can get another town. Not this turn, of course, but next one. The thing we want to think about here also is how we will play the passing game. Which bonus do we want, and when are we ready to go for it? Obviously, as long as we haven't used our Nomad ability, we won't pass. Because I think I can get a 3rd town next round, and that will be more points than any of the bonus. And I need to use my Nomad ability for that. But then, once that is done, we'll have to decide how we play the passing game. I wonder. So, Danny has a town here. We'll definitely go for that until the end of the round. That should be at least 2 moves. Ideally that's the bonus we want, the dwelling. And we're just after him. So the passing game, it's a lot about who has tempos and who. But I doubt that we can. I mean, he can delay as much as we want with his digging, almost as much as he wants. And we have a limited amount of move. So I suspect that probably we won't be able to get the dwelling bonus for this. The chance that we get the TP bonus, I don't know. I mean, depends. Probably Babuk, I think, will pass soon, and then we cannot have it. Yeah, so Halig or Lizzie on Snellman was saying that the big leech that I did earlier, well, it wasn't that big, really. It was 4 power, that it's definitely worth it. Yeah, it's probably, I mean, I totally agree. It's as he says, it's hard to prove, because I had nothing to do on that round with that power. But in the end, as you see, now in retrospect, we can see that it's worth it. It allowed me to take the double spade and take the mountain here on my first move of this round. And that will probably allow me to build a 3rd town. So the points that I invested in this action, I think, was definitely worth it. You cannot know in advance, but in this kind of, TM is such a snowball. economic snowball. You really kind of want all the resources that you want. I remember on Snowman I've seen once a player. It was like, as a rule, I mean there was no exception on that. Every time it was a leash superior than 1, you will decline. I mean, you look at all this game and he never sacrificed any point for any leech. Which, yeah, I think if you play a little the game, it wasn't such a he wasn't doing so bad in the end, but I think he would have done a lot better if he had used them. Alright, so we'll use our Nomad ability here soon, but I wonder... I wonder what Babak is doing. The thing is, I wonder, like, will he attempt to drop something on this hex? If he does, then it's a bit harder for us to build a town here. Probably still works, but it's a bit harder. So at this point we may wonder exactly what will be the plan for last round. Since we have a little time here, we can think about that. I suppose we'll want to build 4 dwellings, so probably here, 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 and here. And some TPs. Oh wow! He passed. Didn't use his witch's stronghold ability. That's very, very surprising. I'm curious to know. I don't know if we have like the post-game analysis, but I wonder why you thought that this was so valuable and why it could not wait. I mean, clearly, I think you could have used a stronghold ability because clearly. I haven't used my Nomad ability, so I'll play at least one more move. Chaos Magician hasn't town up yet, so he'll probably play moves until he does. And same with Darklings, hasn't town up yet, so all points that everyone will have played of at least another move, so there was no rush to pass, I think, from the TP. I mean, of course someone could have decided, I could have decided not to use my Nomad ability, but I think for him it was worth the gamble. Right. So I suppose now do we want to delay here? Oh, he's hearing me. We went to Delhi. I mean, honestly, I think it doesn't make much of a difference. I think that if Darklings wants to beat us, he will. So what's the explanation it was about? He says it wasn't the bonus that's interesting, but he wanted to make sure that he got a town. So I suppose he wants to secure the double spade or something. I mean, I haven't followed this game closely enough to tell. If really that makes a difference, of course it's worth it. If you can both get the bonus on the town and he's not sure that he will get the town otherwise. I mean, witches get so much out of town that it's clearly worth it. Alright, so Darklings went for a priest. Interesting. We'll see what he wants to do with it now. And so if we don't get the bonus... Oh, here another interesting leech. What we do with that one? I think we decline that one. Oh, easy. He hasn't even give it to us. So what do we want here? It's all interesting options. The spade might help us to do a fifth dwelling. It's hard to pass on the coins or on 4 coins on the priest. But the fifth dwelling might be very significant here. Yeah, alright, let's go for it. I haven't really calculated, but I think I'll be fine. And maybe we take this leech. Yeah. So if we are going to build 5 dwellings, 1 trading post, and advanced shipping, we need a lot of coins. We need 5. So we need 7 workers. 17 coins. We'll have 5 workers and 1 priest. So we'll have 5 workers. 4, 7, 9 coins and 1 priest and some power. So I think there's a pretty good chance that we get the coin auction here. Right. Whew. Chaos is denying me 1 hex. Yeah, it's free game, I suppose. I probably be able to win that work anyway, so. Well, that's one less dwelling to do. So if bad comes to worse, we can use our priest as worker, or at least one of them. Which means that what we need is basically enough coins. Like if we can get the coin action here, we'll be pretty much set. I mean, obviously we're having a good game now. We're lead ahead in the standing. We have town coming up. Our cult play is not incredible, but it's not bad. We don't have a passing bonus, but we have a lot of space in order to do dueling, and we'll do 4 points out of Fav1 Air 1. Oh yeah, I think it's pretty good. Oh, what happened there? Did he? Okay. So my Twitch chat, I use a program that put my Twitch chat on the right. Yeah, it kind of hides what the move have been played. So, but did it use Tree Worker to get that hex? I'm a bit surprised. Yeah, so oh, so you just built. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you, Danny. Yeah, I just built it. Makes more sense. Right, I don't think there's any need to leech that now. Yeah. Yeah, you had the spade from the call. So let's not take any chance here. Got that key hex. So Darkling is clearly going here. I mean, that's not a secret. I would like to. I still need. Yeah. I was about to say I still need a coin for my 5th dwelling, but now that Chaos has taken this hex, it's very unlikely that it will happen anyway. Otherwise, I was planning on digging this to get the leech and get the coin that I need. Maybe it's not that important now. I mean, leech is always good. Um, Frankly, I don't know if there's anything better we can do with that. With that spade. Nah. Let's just play safe here. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm seeing ghosts, but I start thinking that maybe Darkling will want to dig the yellow here later, but probably won't. I don't see why. I don't think that getting 1 point of each worth taking any kind of risk. So. So we basically have 3 dwellings coming and 1 advanced shipping. So, yeah, town, sure. But the question is, do we go for the 11-point town or the 7-point one? Do I want to use my priest on the priest track, or do I want to have workers? I don't think I'll get 4 points out of a priest, so might as well get the 11-point town. Yeah, sure. Here it's going. You have it on the screen here. But if you want, I can put it on the chat. You got it? So yeah, it should be good score in the end. See? 3 TP opening for Nomads is OP. That's that's the conclusion of the game. Right. Do I leech that? Leeching that will have 3 points that we can spend. We'll have a priest that we can send on the track, but I doubt that we can get 3 points out of it. So no. So it doesn't seem we will win it, right? Apparently, witches all still have one dwelling to build, which I guess is kind of a show that his decision of not using the SH last round was sound. I mean, he had all the resources he needed to get to build until 10, until 15 dwellings, so he really didn't need the bonus. The stronghold bonus was a good decision to get the pass TP points and make sure that he builds his town. So it turned out well for him. Right, let's not forget to advance shipping. That will be totally my my kind forget. Now that's done. So Darkling still has a bunch of resources. Yeah, but I would think he needed action 4. Do you? Did you? What for? Yeah, that's a fair question. I wonder I get you. What's your thought about that? Oh, you don't have now. I think you had. Alright, you needed 2 ships, huh? Yeah, I thought you were okay with 1 and I thought you had enough, but yeah, now you're right. Yeah, it's because of all the misinformation that I've sent. Yeah, exactly. It already take all my concentration to just verbalize what I'm thinking. So I can't imagine like also having the next level of, trying to say things that will lead others to do the thing that you want them to do. Yeah, it seems that Darkling would have been better to start all west in this game, or center and west. Would have been much better for him. I think in the end, why I got good game was because of all the early leech. I mean, I got the TP opening, putting 3 TP in the center, and all the action happened in the center. I mean, I had enough resource to build a 4th TP if I wanted. Right, so yeah, at the first I thought witches had enough to build their last dwelling, but I forgot they needed 2 ships to connect, and so they will just tie us on the network. Alright, so we still have the speed bonus for our last dwelling. There we go. And yeah, that should be enough. I mean, Darklings has a lot of points. 2, but we're ahead both on network and on cult, so it's not a problem. Chaos Magician got a lot of cults. But he is very behind in point, and yeah, can he catch up on network? Not quite, I think. So yeah, we beat him on network, so that's fine. And then Witches. Witches has a strong call game, as much network as we do, but probably will be too much behind in points in the end. So yeah, that should be it. No reason to leech that. So we'll have 15 points of network and 8 points on cold. That's 23. We pass for 4. So 159. Good score. Very good score. All right. Yeah, good game, guys. I hope I hope it wasn't too. I hope it was a good experience still, even if I understand totally that it's a bit weird to have live commentary while you're playing. I certainly had fun. I mean, I find it hard to comment live while I'm playing. Hope I didn't say too much nonsense during the stream. I know sometimes I was saying something I was like, oh, that doesn't sound right. But yeah, it was overall it was a fun experience. Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel. So if you look for, I can give you the address, I suppose. Oh, wait a minute. The best way to do this is to go to... it's on my profile. So if you go on my profile, you have it here. There you go. Yeah, 159. That's a good score. As I said, for some reason the TP start is good for me. I mean, it's, here I was really lucky to grab Earth 1, I think. It helped me a lot. Usually you have to sacrifice Earth 1 to do this start, but here one went for economic favor or shipping start, and I was able to grab it, and it was good. Because, I mean, you've built only one dwelling, so you still have all the dwelling to build, and can make a lot from this favor. So yeah, as I said, I hope everyone had fun. That's the goal of the exercise. Yeah, that's a good question. So probably Darkling are better to start here. I mean, they have more options this way. Rather than spending, for example, rather than spending 2. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I had a lot of points to start with. Which help absolutely to do this kind of to have this kind of head start, and to do this kind of opening. It's good to have TPs, to have points, a bit of a buffer. Yeah, 20. That you mean that I lost 20 points in Leech? That's a lot. I mean, and it was, most of it was early Leech too. It was Leech in the early game, which is very valuable. So it helped a lot. It really helped a lot. It was right in the middle. That's where we want to be, at the middle, at the beginning. You know, it also comes down to a little thing. If Witch has decided to dig this Grey Hex in round 2 instead of going for the Sanctuary, don't know what it makes of his game, but it surely makes mine a lot more difficult. A lot more difficult. So I don't know if he should have done it. I think it was not optimal for him. But I mean, he's again 10 points in advance of others. Maybe if you do it, it's enough to cause me some difficulties, and you don't lose enough. But still, I mean, even if it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. But I think what did it was really the early Leech. Right, so I think that's it. I hope you had fun listening or playing in this exercise. I'm thinking of making this a regular, maybe every week. So during the next season of Terra Mystica, we'll see how the format change. But probably next Tuesday I'll do a stream at the same time. Continue at this time set during confinement, and when confinement is over, I hope that probably I'll have to. I hope I can continue, but probably I'll have to move the schedule on the weekend. So hopefully we can follow next season through this stream. Have a place to gather, chat a little bit, and I hope that it's interesting, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn a little, hopefully. Yeah, so Art Taker, I think I had your name right, your name wrong the last time, but Art Taker is asking, no fire and ice. We don't know. Maybe there's a surprise coming. I hope there is, but it doesn't look like it. This site doesn't support fire and ice. It will be really nice that it has. It will just improve the deepness of play a lot. I really hope for that. That it will be coming soon. But in the meantime, we play regular game, but with the big advantage that we have auction. So Snellman has the big advantage of having fire and ice, but the site has the big advantage of having auction. It really changed the thing. It changed everything, not anything. It really changed everything. I really prefer a lot more to play on auction. It makes every game interesting. So yeah, I think auction really worth it. And if you had never tried it, maybe you don't realize it. I know at the beginning I was almost against auction. I didn't thought it will change much. I like the choosing your faction in the beginning and trying to read well the setup, but now that I've tried auction, I will not go back. I find it's frustrating sometimes with Snellman to not be able to have auction and scale right the faction. It's a bit less important on with the fire and ice expansion because you have more options, but yeah, I think the auction still is the way to go. Hope they implement it on Snellman one day, though it doesn't look like it. Anyway, so we shall have another gathering next Tuesday. So Fire XSC. Yeah, stream fire and ice match. Again, if they have fire and ice, so maybe on the fire and ice map. Maybe that could be coming too. I'll think about all that. But up to right now, we'll have a next meeting on next Tuesday at the same time, 9 a.m. Eastern time, 9 time, or 1 p.m. GMT. Hope you had fun and hope to see you there. Right? Okay, thank you. Bye.